Hey, welcome back. So the premise for this video is indeed quite simple. Can you actually game successfully with a 15-year-old Razer Deathadder that I've used and abused for years? I bought this when I was 12. I've lent this to friends when their gaming mice broke, and somehow it's still alive in 2022. So can you actually win a game of Apex Legends with this? A lot has changed in the past 15 years of mouse development, but back when I was 12, this was a game changer for me, and it created a legion of followers that Razer has never seen before. In my next video, I will be reviewing the latest version of the Razer Deathadder, so if that's something that interests you and you want to see how that particular mouse stacks up in the current mouse market, definitely consider subscribing since that video is coming out really soon. With its iconic but chunky shape and coming in at a whopping 148 grams, the Deathadder launched in 2009 to an incredible reception. It had a 3500 dpi optical sensor, a cool looking ergonomic design, and a blue glowing Razer LED that 12-year-old me found incredibly cool. That might not sound super appealing by today's standards, but back in the day I remembered I was super excited when I found it, and I was super excited to pay the 50 bucks that I remember it cost me. It took me right around 3 hours of solo queuing in Apex to finally get a win, and let me tell you, a lot of things have improved in gaming mice over the past 15 years. It may sometimes feel like things are a bit stagnant and nothing really is changing, but when you take a step back and look from 15 years in the past, a lot of things have improved, and it became super apparent when I went back in time to use the Deathadder. For starters, no mouse should be 148 grams in 2022. It simply is not a thing you see anymore, and for good reason. Every single time that you flick, you feel an added inertia that affects your aim consistency tremendously, and coming from the Superlight, I found myself doing wrist stretches very often during the stream, which was definitely an unexpected, but given the extra weight, my wrist felt tired after just 3 hours. Then, I think we can pretty much all agree the original Deathadder shape was too aggressive, and along the years, Razer has made changes to it that much improved the feel, even if you're still pretty much restricted to palm gripping it, whether you like it or not. The outer shell has definitely seen better days, but even when it was brand new, it was always overly smooth and prone to being oily, something that is no longer common in most mice these days. The mouse clicks are as mushy as you might expect for a mouse that has been used for thousands and thousands of hours and has been stored away in the closet for thousands and thousands more. But the side clicks are very tactile and better than the Superlights. But then we get to the problems, and the scroll wheel had a little bit of an issue with scrolling up. I can't... The scroll doesn't scroll up. And the mouse feet were pretty much non-existent, since for the first few years they were used on a hard control pad, and I mean, I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest. And don't even get me started on the cable. I mean, this cable is the epitome of why there are paracords or sleeved, thin, light, and flexible cables these days. I mean, you know me, I love wireless, and I tell you all the time, if you want to buy a mouse and you can afford a wireless mouse, just go for it. It's much better, but cables like these are just... They are a pain in the butt to just move your mouse, and it's constantly getting snagged and tangled, and it's a complete mess. And for a mouse that weighs 148 grams, having a heavy and sticky cable behind it, the cable is probably the thing that aged the worst in this mouse. If I was just picking one, it's even worse than the mushy clicks. I also found myself thinking that mouse sponges could have been a big hit and just a normal thing in the market, but for some reason they never really catched on to the masses, and with stiff cables being super common in the past, I mean, there's an open market right there for everyone to benefit, but I don't know, I never bought one, for example. I went from stiff cables to decent cables to wireless, but if you want to use a specific mouse like the Viper Mini for example, or any other mouse that hasn't really transitioned to wireless, I would say a mouse bungee is a well worth investment. All in all, it was fun to go back in time and explore something that was once upon a time so important to me, and it was equally as nice to go back to my Superlight after I was done. I'll leave you with some highlights from the stream and with the big win moment in case you didn't manage to watch the stream live, and right at the end I'll also leave you with some feline action as always. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Oh.
Oh, best gun in the game. Is that a solo? Is that a solo? Come on.
Care package coming in. Getting shot at. Recharging my shields. Throwing arc star. Need to recharge my shields. Look out, grenade. Taking shots. Recharging my throwing arc star.
Yes! Fucking go! You know what I'm doing? You know what I'm doing? You know what I'm doing? I'll tell you. I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. First thing after winning this shit. First thing after first. This going back in. Never playing, never. I'm done with the raspy mouse skates and the terrible coding.